Good morning. We're just gonna film with our phone up here because GoPros aren't gonna do good in the dark anyway. But today's task is, or this morning's task, clean out the dryer, right? Yeah. So we gotta brush all the chaff off the inside, make it fall to the bottom, vacuum it out, and then fire it back up, and pressure wash all the snot off the outside of it. So it's a good time. And you definitely wear a mask. Yeah, that's so much better. I apologize. Okay, you get the idea. It's about to get a lot dustier in here. So, hey, we got one tier done, I guess you would call it. There's 3 levels, and this is actually the smallest of the 3. There's only 3 sections, or 4, I guess. Next one has 5, and yeah. One nice thing about it is an hour ago it was 205 degrees in here. So we cool it down to about 70, 75 before we turn it off, the fan off. So it's a nice place to be, other than the dust, which I hope you guys can hear me. Alright, down on the burner now. DJ's passing me down the vacuum. So you sit down there somewhere. Now basically everything that I've knocked down, I have to vacuum up. Suck the burner plate out. This is where the flame would be. And down there is the fan. Blows the air out. Yeah, we gotta get all the dust out of here now, so it doesn't, there isn't anything to light on fire. Oh, now he's making dust again. Now you can't see. Got our first vacuum load up. DJ's gonna dump it out the door. One vacuum did 2 spots, and I think there's 7, so just keep working our way around, sucking all the dust up. I'll do the burner at the very last. You can see I've got those 2 completely cleaned out. And now we're working away at just a very fine dust. It's very light. But yeah, we've tried leaf blowers. They just make so much dust. A leaf sucker would maybe work. I don't know. This is how we've been doing it. It's working. But yeah, you just want to get all that fine out of there. The bottom of that slope, it is actually open to the corn. And the idea is that the dust flows down the slope and into the corn and out of the dryer, but it just never works like that. It always gets hung up. And that's where a fire would start, is down here when I'm sucking up if we don't do this. So, at least in our experience. But yeah, you can hear that I'm sucking up corn when I go right to the bottom, so. Okay, last step is to suck out the stuff in the burner. Then we're ready to fire it back up. Okay, you can see all the holes for the burner. That's where the flame comes out. Get them all cleaned. Gotta get out of here before we keep kicking stuff in. As long as there isn't heavy stuff the fan will blow it up out of the way again. It's time to get out of here. Not as good as it ever gets, I think. I don't know. Like I said, it's my first time doing it this year. So. Okay, it's been a few hours since the dryer maintenance part of this video. I do apologize if any of that was like not easy to film in the dark, in the dust. So I do apologize if the quality is not very great at all. Now I've got to go move the crawler with the tractor that is giving us fuel issues. At least I finally threw a phone before it was just shutting off. This is going to be an adventure. But yeah, we got to do that every 2-3 days. 3 days with the dryer to keep efficiency up, and usually at the same time that we clean the outside off, we wash the outside, clean the inside off, wash the outside, so that it runs really efficient. So, not a fun job, but it has to be done. From what I gather, you get a mess with mixed flows outside of the dryer, and with screens you get, with tower dryers you get a mess on the inside of the dryer. It is what it is. Pick your poison, I guess. I don't think this is going to go very well. So yeah, I did text Traffic Firm to see what this code means. Normally 32 is our fuel, and I've done fuel filters twice on this tractor. It's surging. It doesn't, it'll run fine for 5 minutes, and then if I turn it off and back on, it'll run fine for 5 minutes. It'll throw this code, and then if I turn it off and back on, it runs fine for another 5 minutes, and then I don't know if there's a leak in the fuel line somewhere, if I need to blow the fuel line backwards, maybe there's something at the bottom of the tank. I'm not sure. But it's definitely worse when it's cold, so I just changed the water separator filter, so it shouldn't be water in the fuel. I don't know, I should run some conditioner, I guess, but gotta move the crawler quite a ways with a tractor that's limping along. Back a couple weeks ago we were having the same issue, and I asked, I think it was my dad that was dealing with it. These Pumas have a little glass filter, and I asked him if it was clean, and he said he couldn't find it. So I just kind of assumed it didn't have one. It's in under the loader mount, but yeah, that is my fuel issue for sure. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to clean it properly. We'll at least be able to get it clean enough to drive without issue, I'm hoping, to get this crawler moved. Rain is showing up. I'm not going to stand outside and hold the camera, but I'll get you set up in here. filled up with gas and get it started. So it's yeah. Weather's been crummy. We haven't really been running the tanks because we're terrified of making a mess. Pissed enough people off over the years that I don't know. Seems like taking in full is tough anymore unless you're doing it in the middle of corn silage. But yeah, this thing's been sitting in a pit longer than I'd like to admit, but it is what it is. Batteries are right dead. We'll get it boosted while we're fueling it up and get it into the next pit. The pit is going to be overflowing when we drop this thing in it. So, well, I shouldn't say that. It's very full. All manure pits are going to be overflowing today on our watch. So, yeah, we'll keep you posted. I hope I'm under legal height. She's pretty far up there. Rule of thumb is all the way down and wheel straight when you turn it off. But the new guy right on the crawler, I guess you can get it remote. She's on there though. Okay, we got it fueled up, we got it boosted. It's actually running right now. Just have it running at 1200 RPM back there. Yeah, we'll let it charge up for a bit, then I can turn it off. Trying to get to the crane. We have 4 hours. No matter what, the crane charges us 4 hours, regardless if it's a 50-minute job or a 4-hour job. And then you get billed additionally each hour after that. That's what it is. That's part of the reason why it sat in the pit for so long. Hey, gosh, it would be so bad if it drove off the trailer. I never thought that. Here, go ahead and turn that off. Oh, these roads suck. Alright, we turn the crawler off. I did not think of that. If I bump that joystick, she's going to try and drive off the trailer. That would be bad. Yeah, that's part of the reason why it stayed in the pit so long. Because, no matter what, they charge us 4 hours, so which is fine, that's what it is. If you like to make use of your crane charge, we weren't expecting it to be this long. The weather kind of just hasn't cooperated until now, so hopefully we can just hit it hard and get this show over with. Okay, we're up to the farm. The crane should be there and already set up. It'll just be a matter of backing under them and pick her up and pluck her in. And, unfortunately, we got to bring this tractor back home because our other loader tractor is on the pump. Because we've taken 2 PTOs out of 2 Pumas in the last 2 days. And we need this tractor at home to move corn. So I'm not going to drive all the way back home with it, but it is what it is. At least the crawler is here for the tank guys whenever they get here. So. I am glad I turned the camera on for that. I think he was sweating at the end there. Maybe, yeah, I think it was a little further of a reach than he maybe thought, because he was holding the overload button to get her to go the last couple feet. The crawler is dead again, unfortunately. I'm gonna throw some cables on it, make sure it's not stuck on a sandbar, which, even if it is, this one's a beast, it'll climb out of anything. And maybe turn it around. So if it is dead again, it's easier to boost than the way it got put in. I wasn't gonna get too picky on him, seeing as he was already reaching to begin with. So, we're gonna boost it. Not a big deal. It's our own dang fault for letting it die. So. We're just letting her boost. It's gonna take a little longer. It is up to 13. I'll give it a few minutes, but in the yard we put 2 trucks and 2 sets of cables on each battery, a truck on each battery. She fired right up. Just gotta give her a minute. Yeah, I didn't think about the crawler driving itself off the trailer if the remote fell on the ground, and that scared the heck out of me, so that is why we turned it off. I was going to leave it running longer. Here's what it is. Crane is on his way, and I'm not holding anybody up. And I just want to make sure this thing starts when the tank guys in there, because I don't want them sitting waiting for it to be boosted either. Didn't even take long. We'll get my cables off and we'll let her boot for a bit. It's important to move all vehicles and personnel out of the splash zone before you engage anything. You just never know what was left open or what might happen. So. Yeah, the rev down is right beside the engine off. At least it started again. All the sand comes into the pit right there. So. Okay, we gotta park the other way so the batteries are nice and close. Got the wheels down, then it won't get blown away. It's buried in a sandbar. And I turned the kill switch off. So it should just start. Ran it for about 20 minutes. So. Yeah, I can do a little bit with the pit that's full, but I don't want to make a mess either. I should get in there tomorrow morning. Get that one wrapped up. That's not a very deep pit. We easily get that one wrapped up tomorrow and see where we go from there. I stay out of the tank scheduling. Unless I'm physically on a manure tank, I stay out. I did say that moving the crawler was my least favorite job. It's not a bad job. It's sketchy. I don't know. Cranes scare me. We used to own a crane, or we still have the crane. We used to move it around ourselves. That's one thing that I refuse to do, because I tried doing it once and everything felt so okay. And then all of a sudden the legs were 3 feet off the ground and I had to drop the crawler to save the crane. We did drop our crawler once. Undo the fit wall, and then we had to have another crane come rescue it. So let the professionals do it. And you could tell he was sweating there, and I'm glad it wasn't me that had to sweat. I just guided the crawler in. So it's pretty cool. Probably good content for you guys because you don't see it every day, I guess. So something a little more unique. Yeah, once we get Border Harvest this wrapped up, I will be on manure crew, I would imagine. Start trying to run them around the clock and get manure done and wrap the season up. I'm excited. Excited to be done. It's gonna get here, but I like the winter when I can just tinker around in the shop. No rush for anything. Okay, as you can see, we finally got to the task at hand for the day. Finally got everything situated, then we can go combine some corn. It is 20 after 5. We don't plan on doing a crazy amount tonight. At this point, we'll combine for a few hours, leave everything here, and wrap this job up in the morning. And tomorrow at some point, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But priority at this point is keeping manure tanks going, and the more we combine right now, the more it ends up on that pad that I have to push back into the elevator, where if we just let the dryer dry for a day, it can work away in wet bins, and it's less work for us if we just wait. The weather looks good, so there's no point in making extra work just to combine some more tonight. So, yeah, that's the plan anyway. So probably won't bore you with any more combining tonight anyway. Yeah, boats can fly. I wasn't expecting to be moving that today, but not a big deal. And hopefully the dryer footage turns out decent. I don't know. It'll be easier to film when we empty the dryer at the end of the year and do that, because it'll be daylight up there then. So maybe try and do that. I don't know. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, there's always something new going on around here. So something different. Have a good night, everybody.